You are tuned in to the Beyond the Breakdown podcast with my homie JT from Six Scars. Stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss any of this.
What's up, everybody? You are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. I'm the host, JT, and I am joined tonight by the lovely Chrystal James of Anoxia. Chrystal, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you again so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
For those that don't know, I got the chance to meet Chrystal a few years ago, and it was just such a treat. Much like Carbon Stone, I've been following you for a long while, so it was really cool to finally get to meet you, and I'm sure we'll be diving into some of your earlier stuff as well tonight.
You know he's going to say hi, right?
Oh, I hope so.
Don't burn yourself with a candle.
Oh, God, I'm killing myself. Hi.
What's up, my brother? How you doing,
brother?
man?
He's outside being the grill master tonight. He's got a big London grill outside on the grill, so.
Oh,
yes. First warm day.
Well, at some point, we'll get a couple episode going here where I have both of you.
Oh, yeah. The last time we did that, it was really cool. It was Fran from Savage Ladies of Metal, and she did a fantastic job. It's so funny because today is the anniversary of that.
Oh, wow.
I just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it on my my memories and my stories, and I was like, wow, that's really ironic. My hair is almost the same color too.
So normally I would go right into the early beginnings question, but you're hot off the heels of a show with Nita Strauss, the Starbenders, and Diamante. It was this last Wednesday. Can you tell us about it?
Oh my God. Well, for one, I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my life. I've played a lot of shows with a lot of nationals, and I have never been as nervous as I was Wednesday. It was probably an estrogen thing. We're just gonna leave it at that. I normally don't play very well with females, and I was really just scared that I was just gonna feel away and just be awkward. And I'm a huge fan of Nita Strauss. I'm a huge fan of Diamante, and I didn't even know who Starbenders was. And I'm telling you right now, like they blew me away. They completely just blew me away. I've never felt more comfortable. I was welcomed with open arms. I mean, I even have pictures of Nita filming our set from the side stage.
I love you, JT. I love you.
Love you too, brother.
He said, love you too, brother.
You're outside.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, but see, I didn't know that until afterwards. God forbid if I would have saw that while I was up there, I probably just would have been done. It'd have been over. I mean, Diamante came up to me. She grabbed my hand. She's like, I loved your set, love your hair. You know, it was just nothing but just a very empowering, mature female vibe. I don't know. It was great. It was great. Everybody was just great.
That's really great to see, because it seems like in the last, 10, 15, 20 years, there's been like this resurgence of women in the metal industry.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really cool to see them actually having each other's back instead of at each other's throats.
Oh, yeah. Because that's been all my life.
So we'll get back into the show, but tell us a little bit about your early beginnings. How did you find music?
I found music because my mom made me.
Oh, okay.
She said, you don't have a chance to find it. It's right here. So my mom is a singer-songwriter. She has been her whole life. Sadly, I've actually gotten further than her. She's very talented. I used to sing backups for her, just piddling around a bonfire and the djembe and a couple acoustic guitars and some beer and what have you, just like a big witches fest. But we stopped singing together and I started doing karaoke. So that was kind of different. Getting my, I guess, nerve up to sing in front of people. I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I did like high school concerts for bands and stuff. I was a huge band geek because I played flute my whole life, but to sing in front of anybody was, nah, I'm good. And then when I found out that I was good at it, you couldn't shut me up. But
Was it one of those things where it's like the anxiety was there until you heard yourself actually like be in pitch?
I think so, but more along the lines of, because I come from a karaoke background, I have a natural, um, I guess just a natural talent to kind of mimic voices as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would sing things that I knew that I could sing, and then I ended up going down like the Sarah McLachlan path, the Madonna, Paula Abdul, and things like that. Then later it was Pat Benatar and Stevie Nicks, and
Mm-hmm.
all the real winners.
Oh
But
yeah.
I had a hard time finding my own voice at one point because of that. So when I decided to sing for a band, it was like, I don't know how to sound like me, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I deal with the same thing actually because I come from much like you a cover and karaoke background,
Yeah.
and it's like I was trying to define my own voice within the
Oh.
parameters of the sound that they're giving me. Yeah, Sean DeWeese says your
Hey,
voice is
Sean.
epic.
Oh, love you, buddy. Love you, buddy. Hey, there's hearts.
So you guys can get him. I can't on my end. I have tried so many times.
You gotta really lock that heart in there. Like you really got.
You see, yeah. I'm too
love that.
epileptic for this.
No, stop.
But no.
Great.
So for those that don't know Anoxia, will you tell the listeners who you are?
Oh my God, I'm probably one of the most authentic people I know, and that's pretty cool.
I agree.
I've been singing my whole life. I started this band back in 2004. I self-taught, keyboard player. I like to mix a little bit of Disturbed slash Within Temptation slash Evanescence slash
Mm-hmm.
Godsmack slash,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Metallica even. I'm not your average rocker chick. I listen to everything from classical to country rock to, I mean, if I like it, I listen to it. So I'm definitely not closed-minded when it comes to music at all. And I'm always learning.
That's something you don't find very often in this industry. Is usually people are very closed-minded and stuck in one genre, and
Yes.
they don't want to learn because they feel as though they've accomplished what they need to get to where they're going.
Yes.
So I've especially noticed that in your last album, Relinquish to Quiet. I mean, you have a huge level up on this album, and I've been
Thank
listening
you.
to it all freaking day.
Thank you. Do you actually have the album, right? So
I do not. I've been trying to save up.
See, bust your balls now.
Oh no. Hey, I've been trying to save up for the bundle. Like that's what I want.
I mean, I get that. I get that totally. But you are not going to experience this album the way you need to unless you have the physical copy.
I know.
I did this on purpose. I did it because I feel like our physical music world is dying. And I mean, God forbid if I had the money to do, and I know I say that like you feel like I would have the money, but if we had the money to do vinyl, that would be that's ideal. I wanted to take this album to a level of pure, just euphoric enigma.
Yeah.
Like, and to give you a little bit of an insight, I kind of went a little Pink Floyd with it. And I was telling everybody Wednesday, I said, my advice to you when you listen to the album is when you hit play, don't stop.
Don't.
And when you think it's over, it's not. And that's all I said.
It's for me when it first came out, it was on par as probably because it came out last year?
Yes, it came out July 8th of last year. Yep.
it came out in the top 5 of my albums of the year, if that tells you anything, because like it
You're
meant
just being biased.
no. I mean, I'm really not. Like, I thought it was
I
the
appreciate that from you.
production. Well, the production quality alone is amazing.
Well,
I
Tony's a
mean,
beast.
yes,
Tony Corelli of the Deep End is a beast, and I mean we're gonna go spend 10 hours there tomorrow. So even though
yeah.
I was right, I was supposed to be singing tomorrow, but I've been just not in the right spot to finish what I got going on right now. So Corey's probably gonna do most of the vocals tomorrow, but I mean he's a beast. I mean, and you get what you give when it comes to a good engineer. Like if you have somebody who is musically inclined, you have somebody who has, a great attitude and just an open mind, and you're an open-minded person, you guys can create. I mean, the sky isn't even the limit. You can just make musical heaven on earth on a daily basis. And the more freedom you give them, it's just like a tattoo artist even. Like
Yeah.
the more freedom you give them, you're not putting anybody in a box, and they're free to express themselves and to give you insights, but they're also okay if you don't like something. So that's something that I've really enjoyed with Tony and throughout the years that I've worked with him, and I won't go anywhere else.
Well, I was
I just
gonna
won't.
say, I mean, there's that huge production quality, and you can tell that Tony really pushed you to your limit as
Oh
far
my
as
God.
everything. Yeah, he
That's,
probably had you
what?
getting ready to be pissed.
Well, no, I will say though that for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm not a screamer. I don't scream. I don't growl. I don't scream. I know that I can do the Metallica type,
The
raspy,
Jarl.
yeah, ooh, like I can really get down and get that. But I've never been like a screamer. I've always wanted to learn because I mean I've seen so many women do it so effortlessly that
Yeah.
I'm like I feel like I can do that. Um, funny story. So we go in to do Relinquish the Quiet, and he says to me, let me see if I can get the words completely correct. He said, so we're doing a self-title track of the album. We're doing a title track of the album. So this has to be like huge. This has to be larger than life. And he's like, he's giving me the theatrics with the eyes. Like, you cannot be subpar. You can't be subpar in any way, shape, or form. You have really got to just. And I just went, no pressure. So, like, I sink into myself and I'm like, okay, well, shit. How am I supposed to do this? I had no idea what I was doing with this song. I really didn't. I had no idea. It took me asking my husband to give me kind of a, what are you hearing here? And he gave me his input, and I just kind of took it and ran with it. I wrote that song in 2 fucking days.
Damn.
At work even. Like it just took that little bit of inspiration and it just sparked something out of nothing. And I said, holy shit, this is going to be awesome. And the whole time I'm going to the studio, I went by myself. And the whole time I was riding there, I'm like practicing, how I'm gonna sing it. And I'm like, man, it sounds like it needs to go a little bit more, it needs to have a little bit more power.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the vocal booth, and I'll never forget it. Like I did the first, second, third pass, and he's like, let it out. And I went, oh fuck. And I did. And that's what you got. I mean, we did it take after take after take after take, and I had no issues with it at all. So,
well, for me, it's definitely one of the most powerful ones on that album.
Thank you.
And real quick, before it gets lost in the shuffle, my friend Amber, she wanted to know, how does one purchase the album?
It's like, I can't even see that. Oh, yeah, just send me a message. We'll set it up. I don't think I have
sweet.
the albums. I don't think I have the albums by themselves on the Big Cartel. I definitely do not. Yeah, so just send me a message. We'll figure it out.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And then Will Brawley also said that the music, the physical media, it is dying, and I have to agree.
I hate that. I hate that for us because I mean I still have my Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and my CD case in the top of the closet, and I'm like, that got me through some shit, like it really did. And I had
Such
it
a
on
beautiful
cassette tape
album.
first, and now and then I got it on CD. But I hold on to that. I'm a very physical. Um, I'm very. I need that. I need to hold on to that. I don't want to just scroll through my phone and find a file. Like I need to feel that. So
Yes.
yeah,
I look at physical media for CDs the same way I do books. So it's like, unless you can open the book up and smell that kind of like
yeah,
the pages, or you
yeah.
can flip through the art book that is the CD, it's like, it's not the same to me. Like, I have a
No,
collection of
it's not.
CDs off to my left over here, about 250.
Ah, I love that. Now you have to transpose all of those into vinyl,
Oh my
and and
God.
you're
I
good to
don't have
go.
that. Yeah, I don't have that kind of money.
Oh my God. It's funny because back in the day they weren't that expensive, right? And now everybody, they want $200 for a vinyl. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Of like the Doors or something. Like, can you? No, I can't handle it.
So
Too much for me.
if it's okay with you, I'll back it up to your first album if it's okay. And
Absolutely.
I want to ask you what the inspiration and the theming behind Beautiful Liar was.
You're good. You've been listening. Okay, let's be real, Crystal. Let's be our authentic self. So, Beautiful Liar was written in my living room from my old life. We'll just say that. And as a matter of fact, TJ Darpino wrote that song.
Oh, wow.
So if you know who TJ is, if anybody
Yeah.
that's watching knows who TJ is our videographer. But he was my original guitar player from Anoxia before we took our hiatus, The Quiet. Um, so he wrote the song, and oh my God, I remember this like it's yesterday. This is amazing. So we're all in the living room, and I'm, tossing lyrics around, and he's, playing this ditty or whatnot. And Joe, my ex lead guitar player, gets up to use the bathroom, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll be back, whatever." In the amount of time it took him to take a leak and come back into the living room for rehearsal, I was singing.
Oh, wow.
Like it just out of nowhere. I was so proud of that song. It was, I mean, the way it just kicked me in the teeth and just said, "I'm here." Um, we actually did a 98 Rock acoustic of that. When Matt
No
Davis
shit.
was doing, yeah, when Matt Davis was doing Noise in the Basement, it was just me and TJ. I totally full voiced it. It was absolutely flawless. I'm really pissed off I don't have a copy of it. Um, but people kept asking me what that song was about, and I couldn't answer that question. It wasn't until a very cosmic, I'll use that word, awakening happened that I realized that I had been trying to wake myself up from
Mm,
that moment that I was going through some things. And I'll tell you what, that was a catastrophic realization to no end. Like I can't even, I can't describe it to you. I could never tell anybody what my music was about, but when that hit me, it was the biggest kick in the teeth that I've ever had in my life. So that
damn.
song was me telling myself to wake up. Now you want to listen to the lyrics again.
Oh, absolutely. I had that one on repeat several times at work today. There's just there's something in your voice on that one that was like very yearning and heartfelt, and it showed. It really
Yeah,
showed. That's why I really wanted to ask you about that one, and thank you for being transparent about it.
absolutely. Somebody just said something about that tonight. I mean, I can't really say about it, but it's funny because that song was actually mentioned this evening as well. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
Okay.
I might have to do something special with it.
Oh, please do, because so I mean, while we're talking about the first album, one of my favorites also on there is Justify.
Ah,
And
yeah.
you just let out so many emotions in that song, I feel.
Yeah.
And can you kind of walk me through what writing that song was like?
So, funny story. Um, I had a stepfather growing up. He was a Marine, and we kind of lost touch for a while. And then he came back into my life very suddenly. Um, and then he was gone again. And it was just ironic the way it all fell into place and with the lyrics and everything. I wrote that song just based off of kind of just heartbreak. And it didn't have to, didn't need to be like romantic heartbreak or anything, you know. I mean, you lose a pet, you lose a grandfather, lose an uncle, a sister, brother, whatever. You know, but that's what that song was. I mean, you can tell that it's heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
Um, the weird thing is that I had a really hard time placing my voice into it. And even the guys told me a couple times, they're like, you sound like you're straining and you're not sure. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not. So you. Um, I had I had a very interesting experience with Silver Tongue at a show. Funniest thing ever. The first time I'm performing this song, very unsure even. And we both have a fucking brand new song named Justify and that we're doing the
No.
same night. And I said,
No.
you've got to be kidding me. So I walk up to Speed and I'm like, really? You can't even give me this by myself? I was so mad at him.
Also, shout out to Silvertongue. They're fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we go way back. We go way back. Speed's my buddy. He's been through a lot of shit too, man. Anyway, so yeah, but then my ex drummer at the time, his name was Matt. He decided that he was going to force me to go into the studio with Tony Corelli and do a piano cover of it. And I went, mm-mm. You couldn't pay me to go into the studio and do a piano cover of this. Like, I'm not even going to last 30 seconds. I'm just going to start bawling my eyes out. That's freaking retarded. Don't do that. So he ends up forcing me to go. Like, and I don't know, 4 hours, less than 4 hours, just nails it, bangs it out. I changed, you know, some of the harmonies and some of the melody in the song. And I mean, it ended up being one of the most beautiful things I've ever written.
I agree.
So yeah, so we put it on there as like a bonus track, and yeah, yeah,
That
you have to ask Corey, my husband, how he resonated with that.
Oh, I could imagine because I listened to it's on the anniversary edition, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, it's on the
Yeah.
anniversary edition, and for anybody that has the original EP, you can't get it anymore. So that's technically why the anniversary edition exists, because I had to make a choice and I had to make a move quickly.
Mm,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
Um, Real quick, don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. Will Brawley says, isn't it crazy how something you do or write years and years later, maybe you read that lyric or hear that one song and you're like, wow, that's what it's about. Sometimes meaning comes when you need it.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It absolutely does. And I never thought that I'd be able to resonate with my own lyrics. I mean, I don't know where some of my lyrics even come from. They just come out. But to be
Same.
able to really make sense of them, that's a pretty I mean, it's inspiring, but it's kind of scary at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It shows you exactly where you were when you wrote it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of things that I can't even sit down and play on my keyboard and sing anymore just because I'm like, can't go there right now.
I completely get that.
Yeah.
Heather Kozlov says, hey, Chrystal, sorry I'm late. Just got off work. Love you.
Love you. Let's do the hard thing again. Let's do it.
Oh, damn it.
Got
Damn
it.
It's really good to see some of the fan base coming out. I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah.
So one more track off of the first album that I want to discuss is You Are Not Alone. Because as we know, that also got a reimagining. So what caused you to bring that into Relinquish the Quiet?
So I don't feel like Not Alone got the attention that it deserved.
Agree.
It was the very first video that Anoxia had ever done. And I just don't feel like it got the recognition. The song is truly, truly inspiring and uplifting. And it
Hmm.
is for anybody who is struggling with anything. And I wrote it. I wrote the lyrics for people struggling with addiction, with um, any kind of mental health, mental illness, and that's kind of what I continued on with Relinquish the Quiet. But if you notice that on Relinquish, it's not called Not Alone.
No, it's called Yana, isn't it?
It's called Yana for You Are Not Alone.
Hmm.
But it's an acronym, but it's not. If you look up the meaning of the word Yana, all caps, I don't know if you have the capability to do that right now.
All right, we'll do it right now.
Look it up in the spiritual sense.
If my internet will cooperate, of course.
Let's see if I can get mine first. Hold on. I want to make sure it's the right one.
Modern technology. Okay, so is it Buddhist?
It's Hebrew.
Hebrew. Okay.
It's a Hebrew origin, and I am by no means like sway one way or the other when it comes to
Mhm.
religion. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm very open in that sense. I'm a very spiritual person. Um, but it's funny because I decided to title it Yana before I even knew this. So to be in my feels in the studio, name it Yana, and then see this Hebrew origin that means God is gracious.
Oh wow.
What the like really?
Whoa. Okay.
So
Okay.
if that didn't tug on my heartstrings enough, I was like, well, here's your sign.
Well, I mean, I love what you did with the track because the original has this, more rock vibe to it and more alternative metal, and you gave it like a ballad version on Relinquish, and I fell in love with it.
Thank you. It kind of sounds a little Native American too. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that? Like it was like a
Yes.
little. He did those drums perfect. Like he couldn't have done them any better.
So another deep cut that I'm going to hit you with here because I got to do my research every time.
Mhm.
What was the inspiration behind Heart of Stone?
Oh shit. Well, so so it was written again by TJ, and we only had that song come about because we were doing an acoustic for Hard Rock Cafe.
Mhm.
Um, and we needed another song and we didn't have one. And TJ's like, well, I have this thing and maybe you can put something to it. So I think we played it twice and I just started singing and it just came out. And again, I was going through some things and oof, the cat's trying to get.
Is that the famous Sully?
This is the famous Sully. He's trying to sully me
Oh,
on air.
it's the Carbonoxia cat.
Did you see his paw come up his
I
screen?
did. I did. He was giving the horns.
Yeah. He's adorable.
He is.
But so we did we ended up doing this and TJ and I were the only ones on stage. As a matter of fact, everybody else got off stage and just let us jam it. And it had only been played, so it was rehearsed maybe 2 rehearsals, and then it had only been played once live, and that was it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was, I mean, there was no professional recording of it. There was nothing. There was just, I think somebody got 2 videos. There was our buddy John, and then there was somebody else that recorded it as well, but nothing. And TJ's like, we really should do something with that. So I agreed to do it.
Well, you did a great
Yeah.
job with it. I absolutely love
Thank you.
the chorus. Like I think
Thank you.
you have this real melody to you to where I hope this doesn't sound, stereotypical, but I find a lot of female bands end up going into the Evanescence direction or like the Paramore because it's the more, it's the more
The
popular thing.
mainstream.
Yeah, yeah. So please,
You can use the word
I'm
mainstream.
yeah, but I don't get that with you.
Good.
I feel like you carve your own path out through the song, and you make each your own in a way that not a whole lot of singers, male or female, do. And to me, that's really cool to see. So I really wanted to ask you about that one, because I think your voice has this tinge of melancholy throughout.
Thank you.
That one.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot. It's actually one of my favorite songs. It's very it's very melancholy. But it tends to really pull on the emotions.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Sean Deweese wants to know, what's the inspiration for the Guardians? Or if you can say, because I know that is part of the whole lore that
I'm
you've
blushing.
made.
He's got me blushing, baby.
That's awesome.
All right, so I get to talk about my other boyfriend, Relic, huh? So,
I mean,
well, this cat. Are you kidding me right now? Like, everybody's my boyfriend. Come here. Here, let's say hi, Sully. Oh God, he's so big. Say, I'm so big. Say hi. Say hello, Sully. Hello. Oh, he's like, no, he's not cares. He freaks out anytime I try to take a picture of him. So the Guardians. So when I went on the hiatus, I have real trust issues, to say the least. I never wanted anything but to have a good, solid niche, a band of brothers to play music with. Like, I'm used to grinding till 4 o'clock in the morning to write songs. I'm used to having the hangouts, having, things like that. And when that all got flipped upside down, that wasn't available anymore. So I really had to snap out of that kind of mentality. How do I still make music and have these scars at the same time, when everything that I'm doing is just reminding me of everything that I'm pissed about, So I guess I started to get into this mindset where I didn't want to give control of my music to anyone ever again, because that's ultimately what led to my silence. And that's horrible, because I don't play an instrument. I didn't write my own music. I didn't, do any of that stuff. Like, sure, I can play keyboard and, I can inspire and completely work with another musician, but I don't play an instrument. I don't play guitar. I'm not like Corey does, but I don't. So how was I going to get myself to that mentality where I can still be a musician without musicians? Shit. And how do I do it in such a way that does not give up the power of me being able to continue music? So it was a really long thought out process that I had to really sit with a while. And the term I used a lot was, sometimes the universe tells you to sit your ass down. And that's what I did. So I figured it out. Once I figured out that I could still do it, that's where the Guardians came to play, because I don't want anybody else to know who they are. They are mine and they play for me. And that's that. So
I figured it would have to be a vague answer, because I was like, yeah, there's no way she's relinquishing the names of the Guardians.
No, and they come and go. If you've noticed, they come
do.
and go. Like, there's now you see them, now you don't. I don't know what else to say.
All I know is Corey's got some competition with Relic. Like, that's all I'm saying. I mean,
they're supposed to have this guitar duel. I was told that they're going to have a guitar duel, and we're going to see who's the better one, because Relic's been hanging out with Frankie lately, and I don't even know how to take that.
I put all my money on Relic. He's going to stomp Corey.
It's not good. Yeah, he's saying Relic's going to stomp Corey.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. The bear and the bird face are not good hanging out. No.
Look, anytime you get that Nightmare Bear and freaking Relic at the same time, that's just nightmare fuel.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Too funny.
So I only have a few more questions left. I know I want to get you out of here on your time schedule, but
You're fine. We're only 35 minutes in, buddy. You're good to
are
go.
we okay? It's running a little fast on my time over here, so I was making sure.
You're fine. Don't even sweat it. What's that?
We have no plans.
We have no plans. You're good to go.
Tomorrow.
Well, in that case,
Ask away.
what made you put "Fail Me" onto the newest album?
That's easy because that is the first song that I ever came back with that I felt new. I felt changed. I felt evolved in a sense. And if you know, that song was originally released as a single just under Chrystal James. And there was one other one that was as well. But that's the first song, rock song, that really made me feel like I was a new person. I was a new musician on another level.
Yeah, and it shows. It really does.
Yeah. We opened the show with that Wednesday.
I'm
we
so
sure
jealous.
did. We
so
sure
jealous.
did. First time ever we opened with it.
So we've talked about all of those. Now I really want to get into what it was like shooting the videos that you have done lately. Because I mean, let's talk about it. Like, I think the first one from Relinquish to Quiet was what, Resurrection, that you filmed, and it was a great video. Don't get me wrong, but I think it pales in comparison to the next two that you put out.
Of course it does, because that one was a DIY.
Yeah, but I mean, for what it was, like, you did amazing on it. Because I mean, you know, yeah.
That was like, I mean, I even had Corelli film his hands doing the piano. You know, I did all the effects. I did myself, filmed myself with the crystal ball and all that stuff. I had Corey doing the cool like bleeding eyes with the crows flying in the back. Like, it was just really cool. It was a really cool thing. I even had Dan, our ex bassist, he was at his house and he did these like cool camera angles or whatnot. I just incorporated it all together and just got this cool just vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, DIY.
Well, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No, not at all.
But with the next two, I mean, when I saw, I think you released, was it Earthbound or Tears I Bleed first?
So it's Tears I Bleed.
It was Tears I Bleed. And I was like, holy shit, they took this to a whole other level.
Oh yeah, for sure. We did the whole Viking type, you know, witchy vibe, and honestly, that was right when I really settled into my niche. I really settled into, like, I've always been this person, but just a different version of it, I guess. So, I mean, I dyed my hair black my whole life. You know, I've always been this dark person, but I don't feel that way on the inside a lot anymore, like I used to. And I wanted it to really just brighten up a little bit, but still show that it's me. But that was the first time I put dreads in my hair. Oh my God, that was a nightmare.
I could imagine.
Don't do synthetic. Don't do it. They itch so bad, and they're so stiff you wouldn't move. Oh my God. But it was fun. You know, it was good. We did it in like this really small, maybe 20 by 20 room. Lighting was perfect. Yeah. Funny story. The week afterwards, or was it the week prior? Was it the week prior or the week afterwards? We did pins and needles in the same goddamn room.
Really?
The same room.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sean DeWeese says, "Your emergence." I love that.
Yes. That's what we call the tour, the emergence tour.
Oh, I know. And that video was freaking epic.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we still have people from work coming up to us saying little things like, "Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon." Like, yeah, I was a little psycho. It's fine.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. Exactly.
So, I mean, when I first watched Tears I Bleed, I got this. Obviously, there's a feeling of, you know, wanting somebody to drown in the sorrow that they gave you. But I also got a funeral vibe. as though you were putting that chapter to rest.
Good job, JT. I'm proud of you.
Finally,
Pat
somebody's
on the
proud of me.
back. Yes, I'm proud of you. No, that's good. That's good that you got that, because that's what I wanted people to see. People who knew me, or at least knew somewhat of my journey, and could really just feel what I was trying to put out there in the lyrics and visually. You're 1000% correct. And the funny thing is that song was, along with another one, and I'll see if you can guess it, were was written for the original album that was supposed to come out, that we were in the studio making when the quiet happened. Um,
Mm.
so it's extra. So it's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
bitch. It's kind of a bitch. It's kind of a bitch now. It was written originally. It was written about my kids,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah. My kids. I had that one and another one, and the things that we were going through at the time. Like, they're the ones that inspired those two songs. Um, but now it's about something completely different. So
Wow. I'm trying to think of what song the other one could be right now, and I'm trying to cycle through all of them without looking at the page.
it's fine if you don't get it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But there
I
there
might.
was two. There was two that we were in the process. We had already had the drums done. We had some scratch guitars. We had already actually played them live at least twice, which I had removed from the internet because I didn't want anybody to see what the original composition was.
Oh man. Okay.
If Barb's watching, yeah, she already knows.
I'll have to ask you off air on that one because you're gonna have my
Yeah,
mind reeling.
yeah,
so
yeah.
so we went from Tears I Bleed, and then you come out with this. I mean, what I call, when I introduce it to somebody, I call it an epic, and that was Earthbound.
Mm,
And I mean, I can't give you enough praise for the
mm,
creativity behind that,
thank you.
because it pours off of the screen when you're watching it, and between you and your vocals, and then when Corey comes in, like, just the added bits of flavor that you give that track is incredible.
I love that. Thank you. That means a lot. That is probably uh, the deepest emotionally song that I've actually written, because mm, it's pretty literal.
Yeah, yeah.
So, metaphorically
It
speaking, but still pretty literal, no matter how you look at it.
Well, I mean, thematically, I feel like you found your niche that you really want to portray, and I can't help but feel like you're conveying a story.
Always. I'm always telling a story. I was birthed from a storyteller, and she'll love me for saying that. But I'm always telling a story every day.
That's amazing too, and it shows through your artwork too. I mean,
Thank you.
and one other thing I really want to tell you is, you are always posting these positive messages, and I know just from talking to you tonight that it's not always been that way for you. And
Nope,
I want to tell
absolutely
you
not.
that, it means a lot coming from somebody who still struggles time and time again. And, even though I may not go like one way or the other on the religious side of things, your inspirational messages, they resonate.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a dog eat dog world out there, and even if something is a pep talk, it's still meant to lift lift you up.
Yeah.
It's still meant, whether it's me needing the lifting or me trying to just say, you know what, let's lift others or whatnot. I'm always trying to be as positive as I possibly can, just because there's not enough of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a choice when you wake up in the morning, right? You have a choice to either sway this way or sway this way. And
Hmm.
ultimately, negative energy begets negative energy. And if you want to stir that cauldron, then it can consume you, and it can cause bad things for you. It can cause sickness. It can cause depression and anxiety. It can cause anger, and it can follow you like a black cloud for years, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
the more you try to keep yourself on a positive note, the better that this is going to be. And I'll tell everybody watching the same thing that I tell my son, that if you don't keep this clean, nobody else is going to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only one that gets to live there.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to keep it as clean as possible.
Yep. Will Brawley said, "Karma keeps track."
Oh my God. Does it now? Does it now? Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it really does. We've experienced quite a lot of that in the last 7 years.
Well, I mean, I know we're running, I think, at like 45 minutes now, so I know I'll have to let you go, unfortunately, here shortly. And I hope you know I'm having such a blast talking to you.
Oh, good. So am I. This is fun. I haven't done these. I haven't done these in a while. Like,
I know.
I thought you were gonna give me some hard questions, JT. What's wrong with you?
I mean,
I'm just busting your balls.
oh, I'll get. I mean, you know,
Dig in there, buddy. Dig in there.
I know you've obviously dealt with a lot of anxieties and different things throughout your life.
Yeah.
Can you, if you can you share what building yourself back up from that journey has been like?
It's been hell.
Yeah.
It's been very discouraging. It's been I don't know, groundbreaking and soul searching. And people don't think that when you have an awakening, people think it's just like, oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna tiptoe through the forest and you know, this is how it. No, it's messy. It's very messy. It's 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 reintroducing to yourself in the mirror on a daily basis. It
Yeah.
is it's tough. It's not easy. And some people don't have a support system like that. And you have to
No.
become your own support system. And I can't tell you how many times I've picked myself up off the floor and put myself back together, and pieces were really not where they should have been. And we have to try again tomorrow or next week or next month. And that's okay. That is okay. Um, you have to learn who you are, and you're always evolving and you're always learning who you are. And you're not going to be the same person in 6 months, let alone 10 years. And that's okay. Like, it's all okay, you know? Um, I guess finding your inner voice and really listening to it. And for some people who actually know who I am, probably sound like a huge hypocrite, but these are self-talks that I've had. And people have had them with me and for me and have prayed for me and have, you know, said all these awesome things. And the next day I'm like, yeah, I didn't hear none of it. It just goes right over your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
And
tough.
you said that they might think you're a hypocrite, but I think at times, if we look back on our lives, we were all hypocrites of what we've become.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there was a quote a while back that said, if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, you need to look at yourself.
Yeah. You're losing right now. If you're the same person that you were 10 years ago, you are losing completely. And time is of the essence, because it doesn't have any mercy. You have nothing.
It really doesn't. It's like I wake up every day now and I'm trying, I'm not going to lie and say that I live every day to the fullest, because I mean, I'm bipolar, manic depressant, you name it. So like there's days where I don't want to get up. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you, but you find some glimmer of something that you love, be it music, movies, hobbies, whatever. You pour yourself into that, because if not, like you said, you get stuck up here. And you're the only person that has to deal with that playground.
This is a mess for yourself, and if you make it so cluttered and you can't breathe in there, then how is anybody else supposed to enjoy you if you can't enjoy you?
Yeah. Chester Bennington said it great. Like when he got up there, it was a dark place. And if you're not careful, I mean, it's so easy to fall into that because of the way the world is anymore. It's like I tell everybody I talk to, I feel as though the world we were raised to be in no longer exists by the time we are old enough to live in it.
No, not at all. Not at all. And God forbid if you have kids and you have to watch the world through their eyes and what they're going through. And you're a stranger to it because this isn't what you did. This isn't what you went through. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you will feel the same about this because I've talked to a few people, but I find myself being homesick for a world that never existed because that's what I was raised to believe existed.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's
resonate
sometimes
with that.
debilitating. Like,
yeah. Yeah, relapse is real when you think things like that. But then you need to think things like that sometimes because sometimes that's that little extra push that just kind of lifts you a little bit. And like I said, pep talks. If you need to give yourself a pep talk, then that's what you need to do. And there's nothing wrong in saying that. There's nothing wrong in saying that I'm not having the best day, so I'm going to post this really awesome thing, and I hope it resonates with everybody. And mostly, I hope I resonate with it because I need it too. So, and that's kind of like how our music is. You know, that is my therapy. That is what I live inside, and I hope it resonates with everybody else. But more importantly, especially after releasing a lot of the songs that I did before the quiet, I hope I resonate with it because it caught me off guard and I didn't even realize who I was singing for. And now that I do, I don't want to ever stop, ever. I don't care if I can't perform anymore. I will still make music until I am not able.
You're gonna be Ozzy Osbourne, the female version.
Let's go.
Let's
all the gray hair, braids.
Yes.
Hair.
Yes. You'd be like, Corey.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Will Brawley said, even though I'm fairly new to Anoxia, Chrystal, I want to say that I can tell straight off how genuine and authentic you are. Powerful voice and deeply profound in the human struggle. How you convey your own life's journey and struggles is truly amazing.
Oh, thanks. Where'd it go?
Oh, Melanie Nix up in here. How you doing, Mel?
Hey.
I'm going to give a huge shout out to the Nix's podcast because without them, I would probably not even be doing this right now. I just want to give her a huge thank you. Heather Kozlov said, homesick for a world that never existed. Wow. Well, I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent on it because I can, but I truly believe that, you know, by the time we are of age to be making decisions that profoundly affect our lives, the world we know had shifted. And and by, you know, we're constantly behind the 8 ball. And it's like you said, you have to find reasons to keep going and you have to find your voice, whether it be in music or whatever. But so, okay, we've been all over the map tonight and I love
I'm here for it
so much. I love this so much. This is it's been a really crappy day on my end for the most part, so it's like really cool to come on here.
Buddy, don't even get me started. It's been a shitty whole week. So
Melanie Nick said, much love. Congrats on the show with Nita, Chrystal.
Thank you. Oh my god, it was so much fun. So much fun.
So I know we kind of got into a little bit of a darker period there during the episode, but to be fair, you did challenge me. So I
did challenge you. I said, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You can ask me whatever you want. There's nothing that you can ask me that's going to be weird. I promise you.
So, okay. Work sucked today.
Like, oh,
this
God.
is awesome. No. I'm not.
I challenge you again.
I mean, I'm not that vicious, so I don't want to be like, you know, a shock jock over here. But
right.
But I mean, I know we've talked about your anxieties, and I feel like some of your fears have also been conveyed through your music, and obviously your rebirth has been brought into the lyricism as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with Earthbound being the last one that came out, and now this show with Nita Strauss, can you tell us what is next for not just you, but for Anoxia as a whole?
So Anoxia is going to take it up a notch, I think, a little bit. Um, After recently figuring out a few different vocal techniques that I have acquired and learned, I think that I can do a little bit more heavier. Um,
Okay.
but but if my son is watching, he probably isn't, but if he is watching, he'll be just overjoyed to know that I actually plan on bringing a few things that I wrote on piano um,
Oh,
years and years and years ago. Obviously, I'm no pianist, but there are songs that I sang, for my kids. My son was running around, in pull-ups when I was writing these songs and singing them, and he's always wanted to hear them brought, you know, just produced. And I think I'm gonna take a few and see what we can do with it in the studio. Whether
that's
they
going to be
change,
magical.
or they evolve or they do whatever, there's always room for improvement no matter what we do. I have a
Mhm.
song called Dark Angel that is pretty epic, and I think that
Okay.
taking it into the studio would be just beyond amazing. So I think we're going to go in that direction that way, and then try to bring a little bit more heavier elements, a little bit more electronic, and level up a little bit more. So,
Okay. I mean, like I said, you leveled up on Relinquish, so I mean, I'm curious to see what you can do next. And as far as your screams and your growls go, I know that you have it. I can hear it in your voice. Like you have it there, and when you learn it, oh Jesus Christ, help the world.
I'm gonna push for it. We'll see. I know that anything that you do vocally, if it hurts, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Um, and they come out very, depending on how nervous I am, pretty effortless. And I did them over and over again. I mean, I think I was impressed about how much I was doing it just at the video shoot. I mean, and everybody else's face was just like, holy shit, she's just doing these screams like it's nothing. And I'm I'm a little reluctant to release some behind the scenes stuff just because I'm scared of those dry vocal moments. And I'm like, but
I
it
get
did
it.
it so good.
I
So I
get it.
might just have to do it just because you guys need to know that we did these takes over and over and over and over again. And in order to give that authentic look and feel to the video, you have to put it in like you're performing it. You cannot lip sync. I did that mistake once and I'll never do it again. Um, Actually, I did it twice and I'll never do it again. Let me rephrase that. Um,
You
so
liar.
yeah, yeah. Well, I actually in Heart of Stone, that video was done in our backyard.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so we like strung lights up on the fence and it just kind of looked like the sky or whatnot. And Corey got to squirt me with the hose and he was loving that. But because we did it in the backyard, obviously I couldn't like belt it out. I'd have everybody in the neighborhood, by the fence. So it looks believable, but it isn't exactly how I would have wanted to do it had we been at a place that it was capable.
Yeah.
And then there was the other video that Corey and I did from Arenda Scars called Vital Sign. And we had this little pocket speaker. And it was horrible because like we couldn't belt it out. And he did way better than I did.
If you haven't seen it, go look it up.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go look
Oh,
it
I've
up.
seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah. Vital Sign by Arenda Scars. It's a great song, but the video, like I really wish it would have been more
It was the end of that band.
yeah, if it looked more realistic singing wise. But
I was leery to touch on Horrendous Scars. That's why I hadn't brought it up.
oh no, you're fine. You're totally fine. I really do what's the word I'm looking for? I appreciate what happened in Arena Scars and why, or I just appreciate it happening because it really did challenge me as a vocalist because I'm not one to collaborate. I don't sound great with everybody. Everybody has certain people they can sing with, but I've never been able to sing with anybody but Corey. I mean, starting off with Plaything. So, um,
You read my mind.
here it comes. But so Red Scars was a very necessary thing for me, I think.
Well, I mean, I think with Arenda Scars, you both took elements from that band and also included them in what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Because OS was definitely a little bit heavier
Hmm.
than I'd say Anoxia at the time and Carbon Stone at the time. So it's,
Hmm.
there's definitely elements. And I mean, I know I had Corey on here last week, but we didn't really get to shoot anything about, Arenda. But his screams really leveled up with that project, in my
Oh my
opinion.
God, didn't they though?
Yeah,
Holy shit, didn't they?
yeah.
Let's just
Like,
say that like we both smoked for 20 years, and when we decided to quit, not just smoke, well, I quit smoking before he did, but when he decided to quit smoking, and then we vaped, and then we got COVID, and we decided to stop vaping, like I feel like that right there on its own just went phew,
yeah.
and really did just, and I'm allergic to cigarette smoke anyway, so I don't know what the fuck I was doing to myself, but whatever. Yeah, so,
We
and I
deal
have
in
a lot of
weird
sinus
ways.
issues. I have sinus issues and acute sinusitis and postnasal drip and all that dumb shit. So I shouldn't have been doing that shit anyway. But when I noticed that immediately with him, like his fries just went next level almost
Hmm.
immediately. So
I remember when I first heard "Gangsta's Paradise," your all's cover of it, and I was like, "Oh, he's incorporating those kind of lows." Okay, okay, and it gave me flashbacks to
uh-huh.
OS, and I was like, "Oh, all right, so I see
Yes.
what you're doing there."
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I remember seeing or listening to him in the vocal booth, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like, what is that? What he's doing in
That's not Carbon Stone. That's not Corey. What?
there? I was literally doing artwork. Like, I'm doing artwork. Like, yeah, we're in the studio, we're doing a song, and here I am on the laptop doing artwork, and I hear this voice, and I went, who the hell is that? It could have been my husband.
Well, I mean, you both introduced different elements on that, I think, and I
Hmm.
mean, for the better too, because look where you are now. I don't think
Yeah,
either of you would have been able to become the musicians and vocalists that you are now without that.
right, right, for
And
sure.
so I know I'll have to wrap it up.
It's fine. It's
But
fine.
I needed to tell you that you were talking about Plaything,
Yes,
and I am fairly certain it was either that or Closed In, the piano version. That was the very first time I ever heard you.
yeah, I remember.
And yeah,
I
it
remember.
was, oh my God. I don't
We
even know
didn't
what to
even
say.
we didn't even sing like I didn't even go into his studio and do that. Like we weren't together yet when I did
Yeah.
Plaything and that. So um he gave me the album in Dropbox and said, pick one. Like, okay, right. So I'm listening to all these songs and I'm not thinking, none the wiser. I'm just, listening and listening and listening. And then that one really just stuck out to me. And then later on, I'm like, oh yeah, I would pick that one, right? Funny. So I went to the studio. I went to the studio at Tony's, and I said, "This is what I'm hearing," and we ran a couple of different passes or whatnot, and they didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't give him like an idea. I think I may have hinted to where I may have been putting vocals, but I never gave him anything. He didn't know anything until he heard it. So it got recorded at Tony's and then got sent to, what was it, Eric Taft?
Yes.
So it got sent to that producer and then put on the song and this and that. I think they were all like driving somewhere when they finally heard it. I think Eric D even pulled over on the side of the road to call Corey and tell him how awesome it was. But yeah, it was definitely fun. Definitely fun.
I remember hearing it for the first time, and I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
No. Hey, how's it
And
going?
then, my other favorite track before Anoxia was "Closed In." Like there was just something about that one, and it was, it hit hard.
So the piano version or the one
Yeah,
that we did? Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was also another just out of nowhere. Yeah, let's just go to a piano version of this song, and Tony never disappoints as usual. So
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, he's done everything piano, all the piano stuff that we've done, he has done it. Like he did Justify, he did Closed In, he did Monsters, he did what was it? Was it Astray? Is that what it was, baby? Astray?
Yes.
Yeah, he did any of the piano work. Any of the piano work, he did all of it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah. And even when I bring some of my piano stuff out, I'm gonna be like, this is what I did, but you take it over.
See, I didn't know of
So,
him until Dark Matter, so it's really cool to know that he's been kind of the maestro behind a
oh
lot
yeah,
of it.
oh yeah, oh yeah. He's like the Oz behind the curtain, and I
Well,
don't mind it one bit.
as we're wrapping up, Melanie Nick said your cover of Dreams is just pure magic.
Yay! I was wondering if anybody
It
was gonna mention that.
it is. I
Thank
had it
you.
in my liner notes, and I was like, I think I skipped over it. Damn it.
It's okay. It is okay.
But
It's I love that song. If I could figure out a way to do that song live, I'd probably really want to bring it to life. Um, in a live performance. It's a very what do I say? It's a very produced song, but
mhm.
not in the sense vocally so much because it features Steve Steps, Tony's band. It's got so there's an extra thing on my voice that he only uses in his band. So it's the
Okay.
actual Steve Steps like vocal filter that he
Oh,
uses.
okay.
Right. So, if you've listened to Steep Steps Down in a Hole, it's the
Hmm.
same effect that she has on her voice, and that he did that to Dreams as well.
Oh, I
So
gotta listen
it
to it
can
again.
it can be done. It just because there's not a lot of like organic instruments in the song itself. It's more of an electronic. Um, yeah. That's why
It,
it's a reimagining. It's not,
no, I get it completely.
yeah.
Chrystal, I don't even know what to tell you right now. I've had so much fun doing this. It's been a
Well,
hell
I'm
of a
glad.
week. It's been an
I
absolute
hope
hell
that
of
I
a
gave you a
week.
little bit of sunshine.
You did. You absolutely
Good.
did. And
Good, good, good.
I'm already going to extend this offer to you anyway, but anytime you want to come back on and, just shoot the shit, we don't have to do
Absolutely.
anything serious, or we can get as serious as you want. Um,
I'm here for it.
with wrapping up though, what was it like getting to live that dream on Wednesday? What was the little kid in you thinking when you were getting on that stage?
Why do I have to be almost 44 and doing this? That is literally what was going through my head.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie. I mean, I'm looking at all these beautiful musicians around me, and they are just opening their arms and their hearts to me. And I don't think I have ever spent so much time at my merch booth. I think there was a time where Beth was like, "Don't you leave!" Like she was like, "Don't you leave because these people want to see you, take pictures with you." I've never signed so much merch. I actually sold more albums that night than I did at my own fucking album release.
What?
That's amazing. I mean,
With
and
three nationals. Like, really?
mhm.
Like, that's amazing. I
Well, I
signed and
mean,
signed and signed, and it was an all new crowd.
I mean, you've earned it. It's not like it just came overnight for you. Anoxia, what it started
Actually,
in
it
two.
kind of did. That one kind of
Well,
did.
okay. To be fair, like, yeah, but Anoxia has been its own thing since what, 2004. So, I
2004.
mean,
2004.
like, it's not like you haven't paid your dues or anything, and it's
Oh, yeah.
your hard work is finally starting to pay off, and it means the world to me to see that, because there's so many people that get passed up in this world just because they give up on the dream. Because
I know it. I almost
it's
did.
easy. I know
I know.
you did.
It's easy. It's easy just to throw your hands up and say, "Oh, fuck it, whatever." Yeah, I was that once, but that's not the case because
Yeah,
that's all I know.
yeah.
It's who I am. It's not what I do. It's who I am. Truly, fully, deep down to the core, and I know that now. So,
Well, I mean, also, I think since the quiet is now over for you, I
mhm.
think that you are going to show the world what you've wanted to show them for over 7 years.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think that the first the first part of it was the whole Relinquish the Quiet album, but I
Mhm.
honestly cannot wait to see where you go from here because I know you have so many more stories to tell.
Absolutely. A storyteller is never finished.
As you said, and you're the product of a storyteller, and that
Mm.
definitely shows.
Thank
Um,
you.
where can the listeners
Hmm.
find you on YouTube
Ever,
and Spotify?
everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Um, hit me up in the inbox and say, "Hey, I want an album," and send me your money, and I'll send you one. Yeah, like anywhere. I'm pretty reachable, so we're all over the place.
Absolutely. Um, so God Almighty, I was trying to get through this without saying this, but I touched on it a little bit last week, and I have you to thank for making me get up on that stage.
Oh, she's gonna make
Um,
me cry.
no, I mean it. And I'm not saying this to make it about me or anything. I'm trying to make it to where I'm giving you your just due because you have no idea how much you affected me.
Good,
You,
good.
you,
I'm
you
glad.
you came up to me at the show while I was on
Good.
the by the crowd, and you're like, "You're getting your ass up there, aren't you?" Because you were basically threatening to drag me up there. I was like, "Oh yeah,
No,
I'm
I
good."
I remember exactly what I said. I said, if you don't get on that stage with my husband and sing this song, I'm gonna drag your ass up there and make you do it.
Yeah,
And then you're
yeah.
not gonna have a choice.
No,
That's what I
and
said.
God, I was nervous, but,
Oh
but
God, I know. But wasn't it amazing?
oh,
Didn't that like just feel so liberating just
that's
to be able to,
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
wanted to make sure I got to tell you thank you because
Oh,
of that moment, I'm still doing music. And
good. Well,
I
don't
hadn't
thank
really
me,
touched,
but you're welcome.
no. I do need to. It's just it meant a lot to me.
Good.
It 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 renewed my love for a passion that I thought was gone for over a decade. And then ever since that moment, the whole part of my soul has been, all right, I got to get back to the fucking soundstage. Like
Yeah.
that was, that's like I told Corey, that is the mecca for me. And I just needed to tell you thank you from the
Well,
bottom of
JT,
my heart, truly.
we love you so much, and I'm so glad that I was able to baby shake the shit out of you. Just never give
Baby
up.
shaking some
I
fucking
baby
more.
shake the shit out of you, and I'll do it again. We
I
can't.
mean,
We don't give up. I
you did. You did.
did. I did. I did.
But
So,
I love you guys, and I can't
oh, we
thank
love
you
you
enough for
too.
doing this.
Of course.
Thank you for going beyond the breakdown with me tonight. How are you feeling?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm feeling like I'm gonna have another shot, and we're gonna eat some steak and have a really long 10-hour therapy session tomorrow at the studio.
Yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah.
I have a song to
Also,
write, and he has a song to finish. So,
yeah. Also, I'm not a pro by any means, but if you ever want any pointers on some screams, just hit
mm,
me up.
awesome. I might take you up on that.
You should. You should. I'm shitty at responding sometimes, but I promise
But
I will
no,
get to you.
it's fine. I just got this I just became one of those affiliates for like a vocal trainer device. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. It's Dr. Box.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
okay, well I have one. Happy birthday to Crystal. That's not even until next month, but that's what I wanted for my birthday. And so shout out to Dr. Vox and my new vocal training. What is it? My new vocal deadlift device. So that's what I've been doing, and it's really been helping a lot. We're just getting over cold season. We had horrible
Yeah,
colds, and I was really nervous about my vocals Wednesday night. And looking at the footage, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, so it seems to
you
be
killed it.
working. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
did. And I hope I get to have you on soon. I want you and Corey on here.
Yeah,
We need to do something fun. We need to do like a track face off, like one Anoxia song versus a Carbon Stone one.
we're down for it. We've done it before.
I know you have, so I gotta
Yeah,
think of
we've
something original.
yeah, we've done things like that before, like the what was the burrito thing that we did?
Oh my
What was it?
god.
Challenge.
What was it?
Tortilla challenge.
Tortilla challenge.
That
Have
shit
you guys
made me
seen the
laugh.
tortilla challenge?
Oh my god. If not, I will try and find it and put it in the comments because that is
Oh
something
my
to
God. It was hilarious.
slap the hell out of him.
I did. I really wasn't expecting the win. I wasn't. I was like, I'm done. Like, finish her. Yeah.
Oh
But
my goodness.
it's a good laugh. If you want a good laugh, you definitely need to find that.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the stuff you guys do is just nothing but pure comedy gold.
Yeah. We gotta
But
post like cooking with Corey in here.
oh God, I don't know if my viewers are ready for that.
He just rolled his eyes so hard he saw his brain.
I mean, you know, it's blackmail for him.
Nah, he likes it. He likes it. He loved doing it. So
Oh, I know he did. But
yeah,
I
it was
won't
cool.
take any more of your time. I just wanted to tell you
All
thank
righty,
you,
buddy.
and I hope you all have a great therapy session. And
Absolutely.
I'll message you shortly after this goes off, and then just shoot the shit with you a little bit.
All righty. Love you,
Bye.
buddy.
Love
Love
you
you
too.
guys. See ya.
So everybody, that was the amazing and wonderful Chrystal James of Anoxia. She was so gracious with her time tonight. I couldn't ask for any more. I'm so glad that she got to live out that dream. You know, there's not enough of us that believe we can reach that pinnacle once we get to a certain age. So it's really, really something to behold when you see somebody that gets to strike into that next level of success. We ran a little long, I know, and I'll eventually get to the point where I'm not like, saying, well, I got to be mindful of your time, but I do want to be very mindful of everybody's time that comes on this pod. With that being said, there is a few more things I want to touch on here outside of the episode tonight. Firstly, last week, my childhood suffered a huge loss. Akira Toriyama passed away, and it sent me for a huge loop. Dragon Ball's been a huge thing in my life as far as learning to deal with different things in life by finding outlets, and Dragon Ball was a good thing when I was a kid. There were times that, growing up, you didn't have too many options except for just to sit in your room and play Toonami, because sometimes it's just how life went. But the passing of him really, really hit home. I think he was 68. And it's just, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that's so early to pass away. But he left such a huge, huge legacy behind. And I don't think he can hear me, or maybe he can, but, thank you for making my childhood amazing. Without Dragon Ball, I don't think that there were, I don't think that I'd have been able to cope with some of the stuff as a as a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid that I dealt with as far as some of the stigmas. Now, with that out of the way, as of right now, the next scheduled guest is April 26th, and it is Dead Reckoning. They are taking the scene by storm, and they are not letting up. I truly, truly cannot wait for this episode. It took a little bit to iron out, but I'm finally going to get to do it. I hope that you all will be here. I hope everybody shows up in full force, and I hope that everybody is enjoying the podcast still. And a bit of inside baseball. I've reached out to a lot of people, even like a fair portion of the independent bands. Obviously, no name dropping, but I've gotten turned down by a few by saying that the podcast wasn't big enough, and so I understand that. But at the same time, I don't know. It's free publicity, it's free media, so I don't understand why people are downplaying it. But if you or anyone you know would be interested on being on the Beyond the Breakdown podcast, let me know. Send me a message. It doesn't even have to be about your musical journey or anything like that. As of right now, I am booked up as far as outside of the podcast things go for the next week or so. So the 22nd and 23rd are unavailable, but the 24th would be available, and then from then on would also be available. So, just let me know. Thank you for going Beyond the Breakdown tonight. I'm your host, JT, and this has been such a treat. And one last shout out. If you got to tune in and see the intro video, that was my buddy Nate Sam. He's had a week. That's all I need to say. And I wanted to make him hopefully smile a little bit by doing that intro video. I love you, buddy. And I see Amber on there saying, love you. I love you as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be good to each other. Be good for each other. I'll catch you on the next one.